I'm sorry, that was a disgusting nade onto Influence Rage there. But yeah, so much fun.
So are they going to go for the res? That's something I'm wondering, because at this point in time, the zone's going to be dealing a lot of damage, so you cannot really afford to get the Fallen Man back up, and that's what Influence Rage are exactly doing. They will have to let the Fallen Man go. They will have to let the teammate just pass out from that. As Loops against the players of Aton. Aton doing really great so far in the overall rankings. We'll spot at Loops being a little bit desperate for this push. Milos catches a lot of hurt in exchange, but he's still alive for now, but not for long. He will fall down too.
Oh man, Fran trying to get that res on the Lucky as fast as possible. The rest of Loops, they're pushing. You can see that he's right inside of the smoke here. He knows about where these reses should be happening, but he's not looking inside of the vehicle. He was so low HP that it didn't matter though. 2 more members of Aton are now out of here, and Loops, they are reaping the reward of this. They have so many more eliminations. The thing is they can't even get the res onto their fallen teammate right there. The blue zone at phase 4 closing is doing too much damage. Aton Esports Choco, at least he was able to get out of that situation, but now he is a solo, and Loops might be right behind him.
Yeah, Loops, I mean, for now though, Loops also they'll need to watch out from that surrounding Partisan. Don't like the way he's trying to rotate out there. The Chosen might just catch him with arms open, and that's where he seems like he's moving towards. A nice spray from the side of Honor Souls. As I said, this team definitely has the firepower, but sometimes they do struggle with that team synergy a bit here and there. But Honor Souls were able to open things up against Loops. Partisan is going to be the last glimmer of hope alive with not a lot of HP to work with.
And in that inside of the feed there as well, we saw Old Glory Gaming going out of this match. They were just chasing zone this entire time. I think the last one might have been taken out by the blue zone as well, which is just so unfortunate if you can't find your way inside these zones. Going out that way, in my opinion, is one of the worst. Maybe right up there with it being taken out on rotation. But it does look like a couple of these other teams that were struggling have finally found themselves at least on the very edge of getting themselves inside of zone. They do have a little bit further to go for some of them. It's really down to this next zone shift that I feel like is going to start crowning the next winner, I will say, because Vivo Keyed still smacking the center up on top of these cliffs. This is a huge vantage point for them to see everything around them.
Yeah, indeed, a great point from your side. They would be able to wrap up a lot of visual info.
Oh no!
And that's what Vivo Keyed so far are looking to do. And we do also see a bit of skirmishes happening a little bit on the northern right side of the map. INTZ, they currently have some of the best spots in the game. And of course, Influence Rage, the Grim Reapers themselves are getting ripped apart this time as Lil Boy falls apart. And now it's all going to be down to Federal, the man who has been able to prove himself time and time again. And Federal, he will need to clutch this one out.
I'm sorry, that was a disgusting nade onto Influence Rage there. But yeah, so much fighting over here now. It's a good thing that the zone, I guess, pulled towards them because they could just focus on the fighting and they're not going to have to worry about the rotation as much. But this is what I was talking about, where this next zone shift is really going to decide who's going to be doing well, because Vivo Keyed, they had all of those cliffs and plateaus to play up on top of, but since the zone decided to pull over here on the eastern side, they can't entirely play up there anymore. They're going to have to figure out how they're going to get inside of this next zone as much as everybody else, so they can no longer say we have the best spot here and we can just see everything that's happening around us. And even the Knights, they were so far up on the northern side, they're deciding to make a push inside of this zone from the northern side onto INTZ. So we'll see who's going to come out on top, but Coops will catch out at least one of them. Totally unexpected gun away, trying to book it away from him. Coops getting knocked at least one of them. The rest of them are going to be pushing up to see how many more members of INTZ that they can catch out up here.
Knights, I mean, they can try to play on with this high ground, but again, the high ground is quite too exposed. Knights cannot really afford to step in a bit more. Now 2 of the players of INTZ easily taken care of by Coops. Coops finally able to wake himself up, and this is the Coops that we exactly saw in the PMPL North America. And Coops with Chico, this duo will do a lot of damage against INTZ. And this damage will not be able to withstand. The INTZ squad will easily crumble down against Knights.
Yeah, now they're instantly going and looking around them to see who else they could go and take out potentially. You saw one of the Knights actually go ahead and take a look towards Vivo Keyed. Some of them still up on top of the cliffs that they had. Even Xat is looking in that direction. One of them is just inside of zone, but the rest are not as lucky. I'm a little bit curious if they're going to try and stay up there for longer, if they're going to start making their way off. It looks like 2 of them are trying to figure it out, slowly scaling down this mountain on the far side. But this blue zone, look at it. It is moving fast. If they don't figure out a way down down quickly without taking too much damage. Oh, they're gonna get knocked. Yeah, look at that, so low. Vivo Kid is gonna have to be careful.
What? He just fell down to his own demise. Cilio gets knocked out because of fall damage, and Vivo Kid having some of the best spots, in the past in the game, now having some of the worst spots in the game. Vivo Kid, how did this just happen? They were not able to be as proactive as possible, and that's why now they will have to pay the price for that. Nova easily able to shut the player down to the front. Exit. The nade will reply back pretty strong. Shifan falls down. Exit looking to get the confirmation flowing, but it's not going to be that easy.
Oh man, Koi now the last one up for Nova. Let's see just how much longer he's going to be able to stay alive. As Zach said, they get the res on Tupolo G. One of their teammates is safe. And Vivo Kid, they actually are keeping at least one person alive so far on the very edge of the zone. I didn't even know where he is. I think he's up above on the rocks. Yeah, he is. Trying to prep a little bit of a nade. He might just be trying to take out Nova with one quick utility, but he is already moving away. So if they heard any sort of utility, these guys might know exactly where the last member of Vivo Kid is. And you're right, the circle had popped a little bit ago and it pulled back towards this direction, but further up on the northern side, in the middle of nowhere, might I add. There's barely any cover up there on the northern side. I believe it's just a big smooth side of a hill, honestly. So those coming from the southern side, they're gonna have to use whatever ridges they have left versus anybody else that's gonna start making a move into this position.
I mean, look at Knights currently just being the Overwatch. I'm not going to lie, this Miramar game has been cruel. It has been unfriendly with a lot of teams in here. Just the circle not really favoring a lot of teams here. So this Miramar game definitely has been so unfriendly to the majority of the teams in the lobby. Knights, as I said, currently being the Overwatch. They have a lot of visual info to work with too. And Knights, they're just raining down death and destruction to the teams in the front. And one of the teams that's currently facing that wrath is Exit.
Oh man, Nova! Koi actually got that knock on the exit down there with a Molotov. Look at the nade as well. Getting another knock on the exit. Wow. He's a solo for Nova, and he is absolutely destroying exit down here. I mean, if he continues to be able to toss this utility in this very small ridge right here, he might be able to get even more eliminations, but maybe he is out as of right now. And it looks like we're going to watch a replay of when he ended up getting knocked here. Unfortunately for Vivo Kid, there's only one of them left. Also struggling down on the southern side. Everybody at this point is pushing on in. Looks like Golden Eagles are now officially out of here as the rest of Exit did get their reses off and are now pushing on in, but that was a huge delay for them to see if they were going to be able to secure a really good spot inside of this zone.
Bunch of savages just sitting in the production room right now, just showing all these little... You cannot make a single slip-up, guys. If you do, we have eyes all across the board. They will be caught and they will be replayed on this entire live stream, so you cannot really make any sort of mistakes. We talked about the room for error. It's quite slim, and even the production now is chiming in this one. As Knights... Currently, all four players up. They're looking so in sync, a 2-2 split. It's going to work so well for them, as they do know now. Knights currently in the most controlling spot of this entire game, having the high ground to play with too, as it's Exit and Honor Souls. These two teams who will need to defend against the players of Knights.
Knights, they're in such a dominating position here. Two of them towards the zone as of right now. The other one right above these members of Honored Souls. So many nades coming through from them, by the way, that they just eliminate X in a blink of an eye with all that utility. We're down to our last two teams, and honestly, Honored Souls, there's nothing they can do. They're all stuck inside of a big bowl, and the Knights, they just have a big overview on top of them. That's it. That's the end. The Knights, they were just at such a strong position being up on top of those rocks. They successfully fought and won for that spot, and it secured them. This chicken